thanks for checking out this guide to buy-in parties. I appreciate the opportunity to share. This guide's broken into chapters, so if I am covering something that you are already familiar with, please just scroll over the bottom and skip ahead to the content with which you are not familiar. Or if I am not answering questions or you have questions that I can help answer, please feel free to reach out. It is why I am here. This guide is going to cover an introduction to buy-in parties, mainly what they are, how they work, why they're important, who they engage, and how buy-ins can impact your donor development and retention. We'll talk about different types of buy-in lots, how many buy-ins you can have in an auction, and creative and successful buy-in lot ideas. So a buy-in is a buy-in party, a sign-up party, a count me in, whatever you want to call it. It is an opportunity to purchase tickets to attend an event on a per unit basis. They can be per person, per couple, per team, however you want to look at it. In the live auction, people raise their paddles and they purchase the opportunity to attend an event. Now, there are 3 keys for a successful buy-in. Buy-ins have to be on a fixed date because it is hard to wrangle that many cats when each cat has the same vested financial interest in the experience taking place. There has to be an enticing experience at the heart of the buy-in that makes people willing to do the event with potential strangers. Could be the experience, it could be the host, it could be the celebrity at the center of it. And there has to be guaranteed interest. So if you're going to do a buy-in, it's important to make sure that you have a few bidders lined up in advance who are going to raise their paddle and say like, yeah, I'm going to be there. So that people look around and they go, oh, they're going to be there. It's going to be a good time. Nothing slows down the momentum of an auction like silence when the auctioneer says, okay, now who wants to go? Buy-ins can be done on a fixed price or they can have an increasing price. It can happen either way, and we'll talk about more of that later, but they can work either way. You can either have it be, we're going to sell 100 tickets at $200 a ticket, or we're going to start with 10 tickets and we'll start the bidding here and see if it goes up. Now, they're important because buy-ins enable your auction to be more egalitarian. If your dinners, if everything else in your live auction is selling for $2,000 to $4,000, then an opportunity to participate in the live auction for only $200 seems just outright affordable to people who want to play in your live auction, but it doesn't sacrifice the value of doesn't sacrifice one of the valuable live auction placements. If you have 100 tickets and it's $200 per ticket, then obviously that is a $20,000 auction lot, and I do plenty of live auctions where we have buy-ins like that. But also, to circle back to it, buy-ins enable lower level bidders. Buy-ins engage new people. It's shown that many younger bidders aren't really ready or willing to participate at the highest level of your live auction. But giving them an opportunity to participate at a lower level makes them feel, it makes them more involved. It makes them feel like more a part of your auction, and it creates more opportunities for you to do donor development. And all of that is especially important this year. Now, who do buy-ins engage? Obviously, it engages the people who want to participate in an event like this, but it also it helps separate bidders from donors at your event. And through data tracking that we have done and learned with Beth Sandifer events especially, we've discovered that non-winning bidders, people who bid in your live auction but do not win an auction item, turn around and donate on average 10 to 15% of their maximum bid. So if somebody bids $2,000 in the live auction, do not count on them giving you $2,000 in your fund to need or your paddle raise. Bank on them giving you $100 to $150. No, that would be 15. Bank on them giving you $200 to $300 in your paddle raise, which is a significant loss of income, right? So that also means that the people who can only give you $500, who can only bid $500 on your live auction items, they're not going to give you much in your paddle raise, statistically speaking. There's outliers for every data set. I understand that, but this data, the statistics on this are strong enough to say if you give people the opportunity to participate in your live auction at a lower level, you're not lowering the bar on your live auction, you're raising the bar on the amount that those people are going to participate in your live auction. And a buy-in party can be an opportunity for you to cultivate donors at a different event. If there's a buy-in that's being sold and it's taking place later in the year, then hopefully you're going to have a representative there who can thank everybody for coming and talk about their support and cultivate those donors. It also gives you information. It gives you new donors to cultivate, right? If somebody isn't going to participate in your live auction and suddenly they are participating in your live auction, then that gives you an opportunity to follow up with somebody and create hopefully a long-term donor. Now, there are a couple of different types of buy-ins that we see in the live auction. One is where you just have a large number of people and you're selling the buy-in on a fixed price. So to go back to, there's an example, I work at the Boys and Girls Club in Sonoma Valley, and for almost as many years as I've been working on their event, spoiler alert, it's a lot. For as many years as I've been working with them, they do lobster in the vineyards as one of their buy-ins. And their lobster in the vineyards lot, it's for 100 people at $200 per person to go in the summertime, enjoy a lobster feast in the vineyards. It's exactly what it sounds like. They have a donor who has a lovely vineyard and they bring everybody in and they bring the lobster in, and 100 times 200 is easy math because that's $20,000. And there's music and a microphone at the event. When you get there, there's music and a band playing and a microphone. And that's important because then a representative of the Boys and Girls Club gets up and thanks everybody for coming. And I know I'm repeating what I already said just a moment ago, but it's a cultivation event as much as it is a good time. I mean, it's really fun. I got to once in all the years I've been working with them, I've had that weekend free once, and I got to go attend Lobster in the Vineyards, and it's really fun to sit outside with all these people, and you all have something in common, right? We're all friends of the Boys and Girls Club, so it creates an instant sense of camaraderie and community. Now, the other type of auction lot is where you have fewer spots available, and the price is not fixed. And the example I'm going to use for this is one that I learned from Hillcrest School 21 years ago. And Peg and Timmy Toppin were going to host people for a dinner. And Peg makes a mean Coca-Cola braised beef, and Tim has an incredibly deep wine cellar. And you're going to go have a wine pairing feast. And we had room for 3 couples, and we started the bidding at $150 per couple. And oh, look, there's more than 3 hands in the air. So keep your hand in the air until the price no longer matches what you want to give. $150 per couple, $200 per couple, $250 per couple, and it goes up until there's only 3 hands in the air, in which case we sell it. And I have seen auction lots that started at buy-in parties that started at $150 per spot sell for as much as $2,000 per spot or more. I do lots of other buy-ins that are high-end. It's not all just school events and kickball tournaments, and we'll get to that in just a moment. The question comes up of, though, how many buy-ins can you have in a live auction before it starts to overtake it? And I recently did a live auction that was all buy-ins, and that was too many. But I would say up to, depending on if you have 10 auction lots, you could have 2 or 3 buy-ins, right? I don't think 20 or 30% is the right number for, if you have 20 lots, can you have 6 buy-ins? No, I think 3 to 4 is probably the maximum number of buy-ins for most live auctions. If your event is already a community-based event that has tons of buy-ins to start with, like Hillcrest School, for example, it was 32 lot auction, 16 were regular winner-take-all lots, the other 16 were buy-ins. That worked there. That might not work where you are. But I think the maximum number of buy-ins is no more than 30% if you have 10 or less lots, and no more than 3 or 4 or 5 if you're doing a larger auction. I've seen crowds. Any buy-ins, when you're doing buy-ins, it's important to have a variety of a number of people, price, and experience. Just like if you're doing trips, you need a variety of distance, duration, destination. Same thing is true when you're doing buy-ins. It's good to mix them up so they're all not the same. For example, I work with an organization in Austin, Texas. They had 3 buy-ins in their live auction this year that raised just those 3 buy-ins alone raised over $140,000. And one of them, 2 of them were fixed price, large number of people, set price, 100 people at $300 and 150 people at $500. And then the other one was a smaller dinner, more exclusive, more gourmet experience. We had 7 couples available, and that sold for $2,500 per couple. The types of buy-in lots, creative and successful buy-in lot ideas include, you've got your food-based experiences, right? Dinner parties, as previously mentioned, Cinco de Mayo, food pairing parties. We've had food truck parties where somebody had a band and they roped off the cul-de-sac and they brought in a food truck and you just paid per person to go. I've also done wine pairing or wine experience, band parties. You can have watch parties where everybody's going to get together and watch the Super Bowl or watch the Oscars. You can have competitions like poker parties or kickball tournaments. Basically, it comes back to who wants to host the party, what kind of party do they want to throw, and who can they get to attend. I've done, when my son was in elementary school, me and another dad hosted the poker tournament one year. The next year we hosted go-kart racing. Got a local go-kart track to donate races for, I think it was 8 guys, 8 people. It turns out that all men bought it, but it could have been women as well. 8 people. And he and I went up and set up shop early, and we had breakfast and coffee and donuts and everything for everybody. Then they went off and they had go-kart lessons and raced. I mean, go-karts, these aren't like your kids' these aren't your childhood go-karts. These are like for real karting experience. And then afterwards, we brought everybody back. We had barbecue pork, and then we had a big meal and a beer and had trophies to give out to people, right? It was an experience. We made it a well-rounded experience, and those 8 guys had a good time. The most important thing about doing a buy-in is that the hosts own it and make it something enticing and exciting for the people who are going to be attending it. Every auction lot that we are selling is a narrative. We're trying to tell a story that gets people to raise their paddle and participate. And the beauty of buy-ins is that it enables more people to participate. So it's important that the narrative is there to engage and attract as many of your bidders as possible, because getting people to participate at every level in your live auction is incredibly important, but especially this year. Thanks for watching. If you have, as I said, any questions, please feel free to reach out. I am always happy to talk. I'm always happy to answer questions without any strings attached. Thank you. Have a great day.